My name is John Leverett. I'm the defensive line coach of the Minnesota Vikings. This is my 39th season in coaching, and I've had a vast amount of experience. My first 7 years was spent as a high school coach in the state of Kansas. I was a head coach most of the time and worked with every area. Then I was an offensive line coach and head coach in small college for 9 years, encompassing every area. Then I was an offensive line coach for major universities for 5 years. Then I was a defensive line coach 1 year in the Canadian League, a running back coach for Bum Phillips and New Orleans Saints for 5 years, the defensive line coach for Coach Ditka and Chicago Bears for 7 years, offensive line coach 2 years with Wade of the Denver Broncos, and presently with Coach Dennis Green, I'm the defensive line coach in my 3rd season. During those years, I've had the experience to work with great football players, especially defensive linemen, and great coaches who taught me a lot about pass rush. The things that we're going to demonstrate and show you today relative to drills are exactly what we do in the Vikings training camp. If you come and watch us practice, this is what you will see. We think these things are vital to teaching young defensive linemen, old defensive linemen, veteran linemen, anybody that's trying to learn the proper pass rush fundamentals and techniques are going to employ these drills if they're with us. Today we're going to show you some drills that will help your young linemen become better pass rushers. There are days in practice when you are going to work the rush. There's a lot of fundamental drills that we do. We do them each day with the Vikings. We're going to start with agility drills. The very first agility drill is going to be a lateral change of direction, acceleration to the quarterback, and a break on the pass. Now you will notice that everything I do in these drills we do with a green football. And also every drill that we do when we can move a football for our linemen to get off and start their move, that is what we do. We don't go on cadence. We don't do anything else. We want the green ball to move. The green ball, if you're on grass practicing, makes them concentrate much more on ball movement. We don't want to be sitting there when that ball snaps or we're going to be late on the rush. Then on Friday nights or Saturdays, whenever you're playing, a brown football on the green grass or the green turf shows up much better. Now, the first drill is going to be off the ground, lateral change of direction, acceleration to the quarterback, and turn and break on the pass. Okay, Tony, are you ready? Now, you will notice I'm using a green football. We do that in all of our drills because the concentration of the lineman on ball movement is so important, and a green ball is much harder to see if you have grass on your field. Then on game nights, game days, the brown football is easier to see and to get off on. Here we go. Tony, go. See that ball. Come on, come on, come on. Change direction. Find that quarterback. I'll go get it. All right. Good. Very good. Good demonstration. Now, you can do that with one lineman, 2 linemen, all of your linemen, depending on how much time you have, but that's a very good drill for those things. The second agility drill we're going to demonstrate is going to simulate great takeoff by the defensive lineman on ball movement. We're actually going to move the green football, give him a cadence. He's going to attack inside out of his pass rush stance, change direction, which we have to do in rush, go to the outside, sink the hip, point the toe, and then accelerate through the quarterback and get the sack. The real keys that we're looking for is great takeoff on ball movement, not sitting there, good change of direction, good body control and hip flexion, sinking the hip, pointing the toe, and then the acceleration when we come around that blocker all the way through that quarterback so that we get the sack. We'll do it from both the right side and the left side, and in one case we'll put another player back there with the football simulating a scrambling quarterback. If you're playing a quarterback that scrambles and you want to work on the scramble, this is the way that we do it. When our rusher comes around the second cone or the second blocker, when he starts to attack the quarterback, the player will move, and we have to go tag him. That way, when you play on Sunday and the quarterback scrambles, at least you have worked on it, have some awareness of what we're trying to accomplish. This simulates, this dummy, the quarterback that we're after. And what you want to notice is that I have it fairly close up to where Stalin's going to make his last move around the blocker. Really accentuate that he's got to go flat around that blocker as tight as he can, not rounding it off to get that sack. All right, here we go, Stalin. Stalin's got a great pass rush stance. He's got his weight forward. He's got his cleats out of the grass. He's lined up as close as he can to the ball. He's going to get off on ball movement. We don't need cadence in this drill. Good change of direction. Sink the hip. Now accelerate through that quarterback. Good. Okay, now we're going to do it from the left side. After you've seen it from the right, lineman rotates sides naturally. This time, though, we're going to add a quarterback scramble. If you're playing a quarterback with gifted talent, when Stalling comes around that blocker and he's beating him, he knows he's got to find the quarterback. He could be anywhere. His vision is going to be on Tony. Tony's going to simulate the scramble, and he's going to tag you. Now, here we go, Stalling. Great pass rush stance. His cleat out of the grass. Weight is forward. He's ready to go on that ball movement. There we go. Now change. Now move, Tony. Move. All right, good. Good enough. Okay, thank you. The third agility drill is going to be a pass breakup. We do not rush the passer with the intent of breaking up passes. We're going for the sack, the hits, the pressure, get him out of his rhythm, all those things that you've heard. We don't break up passes unless the ball is released in the path that we're coming right at us. Then we'll try to extend our hands and break it down. We never want our rushers to rush with their hands in the air, and I've seen guys do that. It slows down your progress. We never want our hands in the air unless we're in the direct flight of the football. We don't have any keys. We don't look for the left hand to release. Quarterback release the left hand, then we know he's going to pass it. We try not to ever jump. We rush. We try to hit the quarterback. If he releases the ball, we try to break it up. So in this drill, you're going to see our lineman work laterally down through the dummies. When I raise the ball, that's going to simulate pass. He's going to attack me. If I don't release it, he's going to come through me as hard as he possibly can, getting the sack. If I release the football, he's going to attempt to break it up. We'll do this 2 or 3 times, both right and left. I'll release it high, low, anywhere I want to release it. They have to find it and just deflect it. We always go on ball movement. I have a regular ball instead of a green one so I can grip it. Are you ready, Jake? There we go. There we go. Ball up. Okay. Upfield. There's the ball. All right, good job. That's what we want. Upfield. All right. Very good. Jason did not decrease his acceleration to the quarterback in anticipation of the pass. He accelerated through for the sack. He would only put his hands up if I released it. Those are the 3 agility drills that I think are vital to pass rush if you're going to work on pass rush that particular day. One of the primary purposes of pass rush, the primary fundamentals, is to get on the edge of the blocker and to work your way around him. We teach our players that we cannot run into the blocker head on. We cannot block ourselves, and that's what you're doing when you do that. We try to get on the edge. We know we can't run over the blockers and put cleat marks on their chest in this league, and I don't think in any league, so we try to work the edges in everything we do. Now, to get around an offensive blocker, you've got to get your pads, your shoulder pads, and your hips turned. To emphasize that, what really happens is that there's a foot shuffle in there, or there's a foot crossover as you work around the guy as you're jetting up the field to the quarterback. We work this every day to get the feel of it. Our demo man, Tony Williams, is going to show you how we go right, left, around these 4 Gilman pop-up dummies. We use the Gilman pop-up for a lot of things on defense, especially in the pass rush work. Now, the key here is the footwork. He's going to reach like he's reaching against that blocker, and he's going to get himself bind. He's trying to get perpendicular to the blocker's pads. If his shoulder pads are perpendicular to the blocker's pads, then he's ready to make a move. If he makes his move in front of the blocker, they react to it and stop him. So this is what Tony is demonstrating. Out away, good footwork, reach it out there, get the pads turned, get the hips turned, get on the edge of the blocker so you got a chance to make a move. Very good. Now, to emphasize this, the movement of the feet, and the fact that we do shuffle by a guy when we rush, we're going to go all the way around the dummy this time. You can work this with your guys. You can have 4 of them going at once if you have 4 dummies. Tony this time is going to reach, and he's going to shuffle all the way around the blocker, once to his right and once to his left. Are we ready, Tony? Work them hard. Work them hard. Good. That's just an exaggeration. That away. Good. Thank you. Of what really happens. Now, sometimes in a rush, you'll notice if you watch film, like all the films I've seen, sometimes a rusher actually crosses over. There's nothing wrong with that. He's trying to get his pads turned to get by and get skinny on the offensive blocker. So sometimes we do this drill as a change-up where Tony is actually going to cross his feet over as he works around the dummy rather than just shuffle, because that happens in the rush sometimes. Tony's going to go once to the right and once to the left with a crossover. Okay, Tony, go. There we go. Work them quick. Work them quick. Work those hips. Good. Out of way. Out of way. Out of way. All right. You got the idea? They got to get turned. A second important fundamental is the fact that once we get on the edge of that blocker, like we just demonstrated in the shuffle drill and the turn drill, is when we get by him, we must sink the inside hip, and we must point the toe of the inside foot at the quarterback so that we go as tight as possible around the blocker. We don't want to waste any steps going upfield after we've defeated our blocker. It gives the quarterback a longer time to get rid of it. So what you're going to see in this demo by Stalin is once he defeats the blocker and the quarterback's inside to his right, he's going to sink that right hip and point that right toe perpendicular to that quarterback. If he's defeated a left guard or a left tackle and the quarterback's in there when he comes to the next dummy, he's going to sink that left hip and point that left foot at the quarterback to make it as flat as possible, as tight to the offensive blocker as possible, sinking the hip and accelerating through the block. Stalin will demonstrate this coming up right, left, or whichever direction he starts with. Good. Point that toe, sink that hip, point that toe. Now, the second time that Stalin's going to do it, you'll notice now this is not a full-speed drill. This is all feel of sinking the hip and pointing the toe. That's what we're emphasizing. It doesn't have to be fast. Here we go. Good. Out of baby. Take that hip, point that left one, out of way. Good. Now you notice we're not working any particular swims or rips. We're not working any moves. That's not necessary. We're working hip and toe point, hip flexion. The next fundamental drill we're going to show you is relative to countering on an inside rush. This is done mostly by our tackles, nose tackles, and inside rushers, but a defensive end could use it once in a while if he's lined up tight on an offensive tackle. The purpose here is to try to get the blocker to set wide, set laterally, to overset, to lean, to shift his weight so far that when we start up one way, we're going to have an easy counter by clubbing him and coming back in the other direction. You can learn this against these pop-ups. The coach can stand. You can check your guy's head movement. How hard does he put his hand in there? Does he step in there? Simulate that he's going in that direction on the blocker, and then a good footwork, club, and coming back with a rip or swim the other direction. Now, I'm talking about rip or swim. We prefer to use rips when we club in there. It keeps us lower. It works under the pressure of the offensive blocker's hands. The only time we do a swim is if we knock the blocker completely off balance and we can get over the top quickly and get to the quarterback. Jason will demonstrate this both ways. Okay, Jason. Good. All the things we've talked about so far. Good head fake, good first step. Okay, good reach of the hand, a good club, and a rip in the other direction. Now he will do it in the other way. He will start left and go back to the right. Very good. That time he knocked the player plumb out of position, the blocker, so he was able to use a swim and go over the top. The next phase of the rush fundamental drills without using the offensive line or each other is going to be the rush against the short pop-up. In this situation, we're going to simulate ball movement. I'm going to snap the green football. They're going to take off, use whatever move they happen to be working on against the offensive blocker, and when they come off of the blocker, accelerate and finish the sack by sprinting through and hitting the quarterback. If you had your entire defensive line, you would simulate these blockers, for example, as the one on the right off the line of scrimmage is the right tackle, the next one's the right guard tight to the line of scrimmage, the left guard tight to the line of scrimmage, and the left tackle set back off the line like they do. Normally we'd have all of our defensive linemen, we'd go right down the line, give him one individual rush each, we'd give however many rushes, however much time we had, but this ties everything together we've talked about. Great takeoff, that's a must, the slap, the rip, the swim, the dip in the hip, and the acceleration to the quarterback. We'll do this a couple of times with Stalin and Jason to get you the idea. Sit, blue 20, blue 20, hut, hut. Good job. Now Jason will demonstrate it from an inside rush tackle position, either a nose or a regular tackle lined up on the offensive right guard. Here we go. Sit, yellow 32, hut, hut. There we go. Good slap, good rip, good acceleration through the quarterback. Now after working up down the line with your defensive linemen both right and left side and getting plenty of individual rushes, we sometimes have occur in game situations, if we are a good rush team, which we hope we are, that they will keep running backs in to help protect, especially if they see a pass rush game. If a back sees a lineman go inside, a tackler and in, he knows the other one's going to wrap around. He's going to sit in there and be ready to block if one of the offensive linemen gets picked off. Now, to work on this, the only way we can do it is with the dummies. We're not going to hit each other live. We're not going to run over a back in practice. We're not going to risk the injury. We do it in this drill. So now, on the ball movement, our rusher will have great takeoff, and as he defeats his man, there will be that back sitting there that he's got to be aware of. We don't care what he does to the back. He can jump over him for a sack. He can club him. He can butt him, run right over him with his face mask, swim, rip. We just want to make him aware that when they come clean in the pass rush, sometimes there's going to be another blocker. In this case, the back. In some situations, it could be another offensive lineman that's kicked back off the line of scrimmage to help. So we'll demonstrate that. Stalin will start it. He's going to whip that right offensive tackle, and then he's going to whip that running back. Here we go. Good. Okay. Made an inside rip. Good slap on that running back. All right, Jason will do it now. He has the back a little closer to him, set about 3 yards from the line. Once he whips that guard, there sits that fullback or halfback. Looking for Jason. Give you a little cadence this time, Jason. Sit. White 90. White 90. Hut, hut. There we go. Good. That's what we do. The final drill we do with the pop-up dummies is our draw and screen drill. As you know, in planning practice, it's very hard in your team period to get many screens involved. The coordinators need works on linebacker drops, secondary coverages. We don't get many screens. We practice in this drill. We also hardly ever get any draws, except so we do it in this drill. What happens is the linemen are going to get off, and naturally, if we had a full line, all of them would go at the same time. They're going to approach me like a quarterback at 7 yards depth, and I'm going to give them a draw call in which they would retrace their steps and go right back to the line of scrimmage. Or I'll point a screen to the right or to the left and see if they break in the proper direction and the proper pursuit angle. Surprisingly enough, we need to coach pursuit angles in the NFL. Sometimes they break and they're following each other where one block would get them all. But this is the way we work the draw and screen drill. We'll demonstrate this 2 or 3 times. Are we ready? On the ball movement, I'm going to give you the call, okay? Here we go. Sit. Blue 30, blue 30. Hut, 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 hut. Draw. Get it back in there. Good. Okay. What you would notice is we had great takeoff, great move, and acceleration to the quarterback. Did not ease up. Don't let them ease up and slow up anticipating anything. When they hear the draw or feel the draw, they broke back to the line of scrimmage. We don't use the word retrace. We just get back to the line, try to restrict the running area for the quarterback. It's hard for us to make tackles on the draw. We can't rush a passer and play the draw. We react to it. We try to squeeze the running area so linebackers and safeties up near the line of scrimmage can make the tackle on the draw. The next phase will be the screen. Are we ready? Here we go. Set. Blue 32. Blue 32. Hut, 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 hut. Screen that way. Ho. Good pursuit angle. What you noticed there was a good pursuit angle by both the tackle Tony inside and Stalin outside. One block wouldn't have gotten both of us. The farther you are away from the ball that's released on the screen, the deeper pursuit angle you have to take, which is a common pursuit angle theory that they've been taught since junior high school. The next drill you're going to see is the use of the hoops that have been in football for a while now. The purpose of running the hoops is to get that feel that we talked about earlier around the dummies of really sinking the inside hip, pointing the inside toe at the quarterback, dipping as low as we can possibly go and maintaining our balance. This is what has to happen after we defeat a blocker on the rush to get the quarterback and get the sack. To tie in with this, we've added a player in the middle who's going to hold out his arms. Now, we haven't done a lot of hand usage yet. He's going to hold his arms out. We're going to slap that arm down as the right, slap one down on the left, and the finality of it is when we get to the quarterback, we're going to start working the strip drill. Every rush drill that we do that is full rush, we either strip or we tackle the quarterback. We don't just want to run in there and hit him. We want to strip, we want to tackle. In this case, it's going to be the strip. If you can get the sack, get the ball knocked out, and get the strip, you've really, really helped your chances to win. Those are going to be the things in the drill. We'll go on cadence, we'll go on ball movement. Tony's going to simulate the blocker's arms. Jason's going to get off, come around and do the strip. Here we go. Sit. Blue 30. Blue 30. Wind her tight. Wind her tight. Out of the way. Get it out. Good job. Sit. Blue 32. Blue 32. Hut, hut. Good takeoff. Good slap. Another good slap. Good dip. And a good strip. Good movement. Now we're also going to do it from the other direction. Naturally, your defensive linemen, the interior linemen, the tackles, the nose-type people need to do it both ways. If you're a defensive end and all your lean is to your left, or all your lean and all your sink and all your flexion is to your right, you may only want to do it in one manner. Tony Williams is going to demonstrate now going to his right. You ready, Tony? Great takeoff. Sit. Yellow 32. Hut. Arm down. Lean it in there. Arm down. Ball out. Good job. The pointer's on number 90, Derek Alexander, our right defensive end, working against the left offensive tackle. He's going to show great hand usage here, getting the hands off, and great hoop technique, sinking that hip, winding it tight and getting to the quarterback. Watch it closely. Good hand usage. Get him off. Sink the hip. Point that toe at the quarterback and accelerate through him. Legal hits. Now, the use of the Gilman tall pop-ups is very fundamental to our pass rush. After we've done all the basic things, drills, footwork slowly, this is a full-speed drill. This combines conditioning, great takeoff, good body turn, use of the hands. We're going to work rip, we're going to work swim, we're going to work spin, we're going to work counter or jab lay where we head fake and go another. You can do this at least 10 or 15 minutes a day, and it combines all the things of the rush after your young linemen have learned the basic fundamentals and gone through the basic drills. This is a primary function in our pass rush days. The first one is going to be Stalin Collinet. He's going to demonstrate the swim move. Now, in talking about swim, we're not talking about the arm coming over real slow in a real methodical move. We're talking about get the arm over quick like a swimmer, get that elbow out of the back of the water and jets it straight forward. That's what we're talking about. He's going to do the swim. We're going to work turn, hands, great takeoff, acceleration. At the end, we're going to punish that quarterback. Okay. Stalin, you're ready. Okay, good job. The pointer is on Derek Alexander, lined up in a nose-shaded alignment in a nickel pass rush situation. A great arm over or swim on the center and acceleration to the quarterback. The pointer's on 92, Dwayne Clemens. He's going to have a great swim, a great hoop, determination to get to the quarterback. Watch it. The pointer's on Fernando Smith, our left end. He's going to do a lot of good things here. Good takeoff, good swim move, good hoop. He's going to do it off of a stutter or setting that tackle up. Let's watch him. The left end, Fernando. I'm going to show it again. It was all good. The real good thing about it is when he defeated the tackle, he's dipping the shoulder, pointing that foot at the quarterback, and really accelerating through him to get a legal hit on the quarterback. The pointer is on left end, Fernando Smith. He's going to jet. He's going to have a good takeoff. He's going to try a swim move on the offensive tackle. It doesn't work. He goes into his next move, a rip, which is real violent and successful, and then demonstrating a good hoop, a good lean, and acceleration to the quarterback. The pointer is on Fernando. Real good flexion, sinking the hip, pointing that right toe at the quarterback as tight as he can around that tackle to get a hit on the quarterback. All right, the next demonstrator is going to be Tony Williams. He's going to demonstrate the rip. Now, what we've got to emphasize on the rip in your fundamental coaching is be sure as the player makes his move, that leg comes through the same arm, same hand, same leg, and that thing is ripped as high to the sky as he can get it. You can never get through with what we call a baby rip, where your hand only goes in front of your face. Drive it all the way up to the sky. Tony, you ready to demonstrate? That's the idea. All right, run through that quarterback. Don't leave your feet. Don't jump. That was a good demonstration. Tony had good, high, hard rips, which are so necessary to get it up through that guy's armpit when you're rushing live. The pointer is on John Randall, our defensive left end. As you watch his great takeoff, the turn of the pads, the great rip of the right arm, and then the hip sink, the right hip, the right toe point at the quarterback, great acceleration to the quarterback, and stripping the ball out. All of the things we talked about, working around the hoops, sinking our hip around the dummies. When we defeat the guy, accelerate and go to the quarterback. Here goes John. Pointers on Derek Alexander, our right end. You'll notice in this situation he has a great rip technique, really gets under the tackle, violent rip, and then a real good hoop, a real good sinking of the hip, and accelerating to the quarterback. Show it to you once again. superb technique. Great takeoff, slap of the arm, got it down, great rip, good hoop, really good pad level, good flexion, and a hit on the quarterback. Pointer's on John Randall. He's lined up as an under tackle on the offensive right guard. He's going to have a great jet takeoff, a slap, good body turn, get skinny, get on the edge of the blocker, and rip to the quarterback. Jason now, Fisk, is going to demonstrate what we call the jab olay, or the counter, where he's going to head fake in one direction to get the blocker off balance, club, counter, go the other way with either a rip or a swim move. Okay, Jason. Good job. That's the way to finish that quarterback off. This is the jab olay, stutter, head fake, the things we talked about in the tape, where we're going to get close to that blocker, make a good head fake, and make a move. The pointer is on number 91, Marty Harrison. A great stutter move, a window wash type move with his hands. Watch him here. We'll take it back. In addition to the stutter, watch Marty's great turn, pads turning, shuffling by the guy, hips sinking, pointing that right foot at the quarterback, running that hoop. Perfect example of the qualities that we showed you. Great rush. The next demonstration will be the spin move. Jason's going to do it for us. It's really used a lot by the inside rushers as offensive guards set too wide on them and they come back in the other direction. But it's also taught to our ends in a manner that when we're rushing upfield, if we get pushed